Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nazarene Veronica and today I'm back with another reaction video and it's live again, which is happy for me because I love live videos. Anyway, today's live video is called, like you can see, she rants about passport bros but Stirling Cooper corrects her. Don't know what this is going to be about. Probably about passport bros. I still don't know much about it, to be honest. I don't fully know what a passport bro is. I guess it's a guy who wants to marry a woman to get a passport, but that's literally just my guess. I've never heard this before in my life, so it's going to be a first for me, and we'll see what I think about it. So let's just get straight into the video and see what a passport bro is, because I still don't know what it is. Oops.
I want to see that, and then they'll just keep him in the country, and I just think it's whack. So if you have the finances and the mental capacity to do it, that's good, but most don't. So that's my only argument.
Wait, to what?
For the passport bros and his lifestyle.
Finding a traditional
so
woman.
Are you against passport bros, or?
I understand the fundamentals of it for those who have done everything in life to make sure they are a man. But if you're not a man, I don't think you deserve that, honestly. Because not only that, you're going to be with a girl, you're going to make her miserable. She's going to have kids with you. And that's just a whole generation of...
What do you mean you're going to make her miserable?
If you don't have your life together, what makes you think you know how to appreciate a traditional wife?
Oh, so you're saying in the context of passport bros?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we're talking about like relationships here. He has 3 that he can handle. They are happy.
Do it, Alvin. Do it. Huh?
Yeah,
So go ahead.
He could do that, but if some other guy who's living here who's never had an idea of what a male figure is in his life, he's going based off of whatever little content he picks from the internet. He's saying, well, I want a traditional wife, but therefore he doesn't even have like a credit score. He doesn't even have like his life in check. He's still driving the hoopty from high school. But you want a traditional girl. Like, what happens when you bring that girl over here? You're going to basically make her a Western woman, and she's going to realize, like, this guy really doesn't have his shit together. Now she's going to cheat on you.
You know what the solution to that is?
A passport bro is a guy who goes to a different country and gets a wife and brings her back to his country, which is usually Western, I'm guessing. Okay, that makes sense.
Don't bring it to America.
To be honest, I do not blame guys who want to do that, because most of the girls in the West are just lost causes and completely run by money, materialistic things. They are very, very hard-headed and do not make very good wife material. They don't know much about being a wife. They don't know how to look after a household. They don't know anything about raising children. They want to focus on their career. I really don't blame men who want to go to a different country to find a woman who has not been corrupted by this Western mentality. So I understand where they're coming from.
I think that's a cop-out. I think that's a cop-out.
It's the solution, though.
But it's embarrassing. I think that's so embarrassing. I'm Vietnamese. I have workers.
Yeah, but he can raise a family over there.
So he should go over there.
But the whole point
that's my point. That's my point.
If he adapts to culture, that makes sense. But if you're not going to adapt to culture, you're going to marry a girl. Why do you think she married you? For the American culture. You're going to marry her and keep her in her country when she really wants to come over here. I think that's selfish.
Oh yeah, she does.
So, wait, yeah, she does?
Like I agree with your hypothesis that most of the girls that are probably matching up with these passport boys, they're doing it for the green card. I get the point.
Yeah, and a lot of guys don't know that because they're seeing only the traditional like value in which I understand. We all see things we want, but like it doesn't mean you can have it. A lot of people don't.
I'm gonna give you my #1 tip to get over a breakup, and that is gonna be going to therapy. Going to therapy helped me so
Going to therapy.
See that, so they're like kind of.
But are you saying the key thing when it comes to the passport bros? I mean, we could debate kind of what the motivations are on the women's side. Is the men in Western countries are dissatisfied with the behavior of Western modern women, and they're looking to South America and Asia for more feminine traditional women.
Yeah.
Do you disagree with that part?
I understand with that statement. My thing would just be level up. Like, I just think that, all right, so what, the girl here wants you to make a decent amount. I'm not saying the extremities of like the 6-7 figure guys. I'm not saying that there aren't girls who don't want you just to be like not socially awkward. Like a lot of guys are socially awkward.
Guys, if you hate the way that women are in the West, just level up. What is she talking about? The problem is with the women, not with the men. Leveling up will just make the women even more controlling, even more masculine, even more. They'll think they can get away with the way that they're behaving even more so because the guy is literally pandering to the woman and giving them exactly what they want, even when they're behaving in a unacceptable way. What is she talking about? It's just going to make their behavior even worse. She literally is so backwards in her thinking.
I think you're a bit ignorant to like the average guy's experience. Consider this, right? Most guys, the average guy today, his granddad had to put in a quarter of the work to get the kind of woman that is 4 times as amazing as the woman he's attracted.
Oh, you're talking about
his grandmother was an amazing woman and a very, very feminine, natural woman, and his granddad really didn't have to do the kind of work he has to do right now as a young man in the Western world.
So you're talking about hopefully.
I completely agree with that. My great grandma was just so special. She ran an entire farm along with her husband. She would look after the animals. She'd wake up at 4 a.m. to feed the animals, to give them water. She would raise, chickens, pigs, cows, ducks, rabbits, so many animals, whilst raising her children. She had, I think, around 4 children and raised them all on the food that she grew herself. She had a whole field of crops, and it got them through many a hard time. They went through, it was communist Poland, and they went through that together. She lived through World War II. She survived that somehow in Poland. Imagine that. She was such a strong woman, but very feminine, very loving, a great wife, a great mother. She knew how to grow food. She had so many skills. And nowadays, that is literally almost impossible to find. I can't find it except for on Instagram. Every now and then it comes up and I'm like, thank the Lord, there are still women like this out there. And that's my dream life that I want to have one day when I'm able to. Sadly, I live in a city and it's not possible for me to do that right now. But that is my dream life. And what he's saying is back in those days, women like that were very common. It was just easy to find one. You didn't have to put work in to be able to find your dream wife who could give you all of these things and who had all of these qualities and skills, and who was feminine and a good mother and a good wife. Nowadays, that's literally impossible to find. So I get what he's saying. It's true. You have to put in so much more work nowadays to find a woman who is not anywhere near as good as they used to be.
Yes, totally.
Hoflation. So modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did for women 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were.
Yeah. It's true. It's actually true.
I get what you guys are saying, but again, I guess with what I understand from everything, it's like I have a family still back at home. They're the guys that are born here and guys who are born in my country. What they do is they sit here and they realize like, all right, I want to go back to my country and marry a girl. They're miserable with the back and forthness. Like that's like an average guy from what I've seen and then what I have to coach with. So I get what you're saying. That
so they don't stay there. They try to do.
They can't afford to stay there.
They try to do 2 countries.
It's like because they're here. It's like it's hard to make money over there.
Because they work here.
Yeah. So how is that? It's not realistic.
Yeah, it's not. It's hard. It's not easy. Not everyone can pull it off. They can't. It's true. They can't. It's
that's just my only argument. That's all I'm saying. It's not easy. So
yeah, I get it.
He is so understanding. It's hard to come by a guy who has these views and is that understanding to the other side, because I probably wouldn't be as understanding if I were in his place, because, yeah, her points just don't really stand, in my opinion. I get where she's coming from a bit, but it's just what he's saying is so much more powerful and so much more meaningful, and she seems to be a bit headstrong and is trying to justify the behavior of women in this day and age. And I don't think it's justifiable, personally.
Hoflation? That's the thing.
It's true. It's a thing.
Women are asking for way more now and bringing the least.
They're asking for more now because they're ignorant. But honestly, like I grew up here. And I was just as ignorant, not to the degree that it's gotten to, but like the only reason why I am the way I am now is because I met somebody that made me realize, holy crap, I need to have my life. I don't have the luxury to be barbaric.
Hold on.
Alvin Sam super chatted $100.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Ling Ling, modern women are masculine, argumentative, combative, and overweight. But by your logic, that's the man's fault.
That is what I said. I mean, he didn't need to call her Ling Ling, but that's what I was saying in the beginning. She seems to be attributing all of these issues with women to men, and it really is not the case. It's women's fault. Well, you could say it's society's fault for programming women like that, which I kind of agree with. The government have a massive part to play in that because they are trying to divide the family unit and to literally destroy it, which they seem to be doing. They are kind of getting away with that, to be honest. But I would attribute a lot of the blame to the government and society. But women do have the information available to be able to wake up to that scam of feminism and being an independent woman in this day and age. And they just don't seem to be wanting to make that right judgment and step away from that way of thinking. So I can't believe that she is trying to suggest that it's the man's fault and that he needs to change and he needs to step up and become a better man. Because it literally will just do the opposite. It will have the opposite effect, and it will encourage the woman to be even more masculine and even more. She'll carry on with her behavior and do it even more.
Your response to Alvin?
I didn't say it was his fault. I didn't say that. There's plenty of women that there isn't. That's the thing. Everyone lives on social media, so you're looking at the girls that you do see on social media that is masculine. I literally have been listed at nail salon my entire life. There's women of all walks of life. I deal with more women than the average guy has ever dealt with women. So how is it that I can get those girls who are barbarically masculine to submit to their feminine side just by simply them paying for a course with me?
You're doing God's work there.
Excuse me?
You're doing God's work.
That's my point. So it's like, even for myself as a living testament, like how can you say that? It's, yes, a lot of these girls don't even have like a proper upbringing, and then you have social media making it to this crazy extravagant level of like there's only this and there's only this. There isn't. I mean, just me being here in Santa Barbara for like the past 24 hours, I've ran into girls at coffee shops that weren't to a certain degree where I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Everyone isn't like that. But we only see what is on social media, is all I'm going to say. And they're going to argue with that because L Asian, because you guys live on social media. You're a burner account, leaving comments. That's what you do. But why don't you build some social skills and get out of it? Find some common grounds with girls who actually do, I don't know, pottery class, church, shit like that. I think people make it so extreme.
A lot of these church girls are chameleons.
Okay, that's the extreme. Like I'm saying, like I was in the women's space. Like I for nail salon since I was 14. So therefore, yeah, there are those type of girls who use that as a facade. But then there are girls who are just there, and there's also, like he said, women are fucking obese and masculine. What about the guys who are feminized and obese also? But then they demand it.
I'm just curious. Like, on average, what do you think like the average age of one of your female clients would be?
Right now, they're mid-20s, early 30s.
Right.
Early 30s. Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, I mean, and then like anyone that's younger, like the younger guys that are complaining about women being shitty, you're young. You shouldn't even be dating. You should honestly be getting your shit together. So I really don't see why that's even an argument. I get getting your thing off, sure, but like, honestly,
yeah, but a lot of guys want a wife, man. A lot of guys want to have a wife and kids. They really do.
But that's
a lot of guys
point.
don't want to be a playboy. A lot of guys don't want to fly around the world on jets and drive fast cars and never be a playboy. A lot of guys really just want a wholesome life. But I know that.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. So I don't see where the contrast is at in the argument. What's your point in that?
I think I was reacting to something you just
said.
I
was like, I know they want, a lot of guys actually get into relationships with women wanting that to be like a serious thing. It just kind of goes to shit when she shows them things that are unattractive. Yeah. So I feel like this just died down. All right. Maybe sorry.
Thing. We calmed everything down.
No, we're listening to you.
Sorry.
It's just,
don't apologize.
Sorry.
Here's the thing.
I'm just saying there's hope is all I'm saying. There is hope.
We're not saying that there aren't good women in Western countries. That's not what we're saying at all. However, there are certain realities in the dating landscape. For example, it's kind of always been the case, but when social media was introduced and when dating apps were introduced, you basically have women who are all chasing after the top tier of men. Hypergamy, I'm sure you're familiar with the term. Mm-hmm. So all these women, they're all chasing after the top tier of men because here's the thing. Women will confuse relationship attraction for at least how men view it. There's relationship attraction and there's sex attraction. Men will sleep with women that they would never commit to or never have a relationship with. Typically, though, for a woman to be willing to sleep with a guy, he needs to be at least attractive enough to be in a relationship with. in terms of physical appearance. But men, we will sleep with women who are we would never be in a relationship with her strictly just based off her looks alone. But we welcome the easy, not all men, but men will welcome the easy access to sex. So what you have happening because of that is women are hooking up with like top tier dudes who they will never be able to secure for a long-term relationship. They either wrongly think that they can secure that man for long-term commitment, so they're either delusional, or they acknowledge that these guys are just fuck boys and I'll never get commitment, but they'll always kind of be chasing after them, and they'll either wrongly think, well, I'm able to sleep with a guy who's a 9, so I must be a 9.
Yeah.
So you have women with overinflated self-perception of their own physical attractiveness, of their value on the dating marketplace, let's say. And so to say men go level up, well, the reality is, at the end of the day, like, if at least what makes logical sense, an average woman should get with an average man. However, average women can sleep with men who are not average. You disagree?
And you don't think men can do the same thing?
No, men.
God, no, they can't.
No, average dudes.
On any
Nope.
level.
Nope.
You
An average-
don't think an ugly guy could get a girl just by having money.
Well,
Yeah, but
no,
that-
but
That's
you've
not
added
average.
you've
It's
added
not average,
you've added
though.
a variable there. So
Having money is average. That doesn't. That's
no,
not
most men
extraordinary.
like
That's not
make
out of
50K a year or something.
Less than that.
40. What is it? 45? I don't know.
It's like 30 in America, I think.
Yeah,
The average
so-
American wage is like for a guy is like $30,000 a year.
Men can make up for their lack of looks by money, status, and charisma. The worse looking you are, the more you need.
How about a girl?
I mean, a girl having a pleasant personality can make her more attractive to a partner, but it's not like
Just
And
make her-
anytime we have a contradiction, you're going to say, oh, well, that's just
You're
because men
just-
and women are different, and that's unfair, and it's just unfair. But
What-
at the same time, that's
Wait, so do you
creating
think we're
that-
the same then?
I think that there's equality.
We could be
That
can
we could be
be-
held to the same accountability.
Oh, yeah,
Into the mics.
Because
definitely.
you can switch it around and you
Into
can
the
say
mic.
that the woman was the breadwinner or the man, but at the same time, like, okay, yeah, it's very common for the man to be the breadwinner. He's supposed to do this. He's supposed to do that.
And it's
The
okay to
women's
switch
supposed to do
roles
that
at the
and
same time. You can,
I
you
hear
can,
you. What'd you say?
you can switch roles.
okay.
also.
Here's the difference. Just to respond to your initial comment.
You can switch roles, guys. Don't worry. You want to be the stay-at-home wife? What the hell?
So, an average woman could get laid with such a frequency as compared. Okay, here's the equivalent. Average women have the equivalent sexual pull as a male celebrity. So an average woman, if she was so inclined, could sleep with a new guy every single night of the week. She could probably sleep with 2-3 guys a day.
Easily.
In order for a guy to be able to do that, you are less than the top 1% of men can do that.
You have to be Leonardo DiCaprio.
You have to be like you have to,
want it.
and I think you have to even have more than
Build yourself and
you have to
go
have
out.
more than just good looks as a guy to do that.
Yeah.
You need status. I think honestly,
That's
only
the
men
high
with status
value
can do it.
thing
What's
you
that?
were talking about the high value.
No, when I say status, I mean like celebrity, athlete, musician. These are the kinds of men that can like really run through chicks. But like an average chick could basically have the same sexual pull as like a top tier dude, really top tier dude.
Definitely. Completely agreed. Somebody said, matter of time before this page blows up. Thank you very much. soon come, maybe. Someone said, my Ukrainian wife speaks 3 languages. She's beautiful, young, and traditional. Above all, she is completely feminine. Very glad you found someone who is traditional. It's hard to find nowadays, so you did good. Yeah, speaking languages is a good trait to have. It means you're intelligent and able to pick up new information very easily. I speak 3 other languages apart from English, so yeah, it's definitely less common nowadays, I would say, even though we have more information out there and it's definitely easier to learn a new language. I think it's less common than it used to be. Someone said, the lady saying it's embarrassing to be a passport bro. What's embarrassing is to be a Western woman who motivates guys to become passport bros. Agreed. It is. That's more embarrassing. Oh my gosh. If you think it's embarrassing that passport bros exist, why are you the kind of woman to literally make them exist and make men want to go to a whole different country to find a wife instead of looking in his country? That is true. That is very embarrassing. And somebody said these are delusional. They are very delusional people. Very delusional. And I'm very sorry that women like this exist. It's a sad, sad, sad time. But guys, let me know what you think about that. Would you consider moving to a different country to find a wife? Or do you think you can find the perfect wife in your current country that you live in? Let me know.